Hello everyone, I'm Okeedoku and welcome back to Alchemy Factory. This will be episode 6 where we're going to be starting off in level 5. So, let me get you caught up with what I did in between episodes. I went and bought those other plots of land. I learned everything that I could in the level 5 chart that's not a product to sell. And on top of that, we've built a nice hefty lump of savings. 1500 silver. Now, I'm sure you must think that I've just spent way too long AFKing, but I can assure you it's because I just sell quality products and keep them all stocked up and there's no actual dodginess going along. The first thing we're going to want to set up is coal, because that will be our new fuel source. And where's my notes? Yep. So one crusher will go into one. So one crusher makes 20 coal a minute, which then needs 2 crucibles because they work at 10 a minute. Then each crucible needs 2 grinders because they work at 5 a minute. So that's not a difficult one to set up. So let's get to it. Right, we've got coal set up. So now the next thing we want to get done is steel. So we're going to set up a few ethanals for it. What am I looking at? Yeah, we're going to set up 5 ethanals to get this going. Let's just see what our space requirements are looking like for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, that's good. So now we can actually get steel being produced, which is what I want to do for the what's going to be his new nursery setup. This is just temporary while we get a good amount of steel in place. So don't worry too much. I'm not adding to the mess just yet. We'll ignore that. It ain't pretty, but it'll do for now. And we're just gonna stick 100 silver in there and just let this run for a little bit. And his first bits of steel, which I want to make these for one very good reason. They can stack on top of nurseries, which means we can compact the nursery wall setups we do. So that's gonna lead us into the next thing we're doing, which will be the advanced fertilizer. So I've already ran the numbers like I did in episode 3, I believe. Maybe episode 4 actually. I've lost track already. The one where I did that math rundown about fertilizer. But yeah, so we can drop, with advanced fertilizer, we can drop down the production from 600 a minute to just 300 a minute. And again, that includes future proofing for stuff in level 5, where we'll need what is it? Soap powder and wine for the yeast powder, as well as more flax for pulleys for the Jupiter. I don't think we need to up the healing potion production anymore for the turquoise, because yeah, we're a bit overstocked. So that should be okay. And is there anything else? I don't think so. We've also got the next sample request for a new contract, which will be gloom spores, which we'll worry about later. And honestly, thinking about it again, I might actually drop that down even further from 300, because everything up to level 4 we'd need 105 a minute, maybe even less. So I might even cut that to 150 a minute and then just go from there. 4, 5. Then if we do that 5 by 5, because we're only doing the 25, aren't we? Right, we'll just save the 5 stack as a blueprint, and then we can just work from there. Yeah, literally just waiting on a lot more steel coming in now. But there is something else I want to check out, because there's no rush on that, and we've got enough steel to do it now. Building tool, because there's a new thing on here. Right, we've now got pillars and the grand stairs. I want to see how they fit. So we need, oh, it's a good use for linen. So I just want to have a look at these. I've not seen them yet. Okay. There we go. 25 table saws set up. All ready for rotten logs. Now we'll just need to find a place to put them. Soon. For now, into that corner they go. That can also go bye-bye. Okay, to really put in perspective how much we're going to be downsizing. So this is his current nursery setup, but sage to produce enough plant ash, and it's going to be and for the redo to prep for advanced fertilizers, our new setup is going to look like this. Wait, no, I messed up. Like this. Yep, that's right. And it'll be producing more than we're using. That's how effective advanced fertilizer is compared to basic. Now, although steel gears are a product, we're not going to care about selling them anytime soon. I want access to these, because they'll be extremely useful for trying to set things up. And this will be our quicklime module. So yeah, same setup as before, only stacked now that we have the retractable beams that can just go straight along. It's nice and simple, clear view inside, and then we'll worry about shielding them shortly. I've also swapped out the wooden crates for the metal stands, just because it looks a bit better, and should we need to do anything underneath, we can. So now we need to finish sorting the plant ash. Right, here's the plant ash setup. Nice and simple, managed to get all 8 crucibles nice and neat on here. Right, now I just really need to get it all connected up. Yeah, I forgot to get the fertilizer setup done. Not fertilizer. Yeah, I forgot to start out the assembly as well, so that's that. Now, all we need to do is piece it all together. Okay, progress check. We've got there's fueling module in place and everything's connected for the quicklime. Just ignore how messy it is back here. Oh yeah, I need to do that. Okie dokie, we're getting there. I just need to connect it all up, and that'll at least be the basic fertilizers redone. Right, that's the bottom row setup. Now just to do the top. And there's the top setup. Now all we'll need to do is get another set of 10 assemblers, hook those up to the new ones, and then hook those up to the 10 assemblers. So let's get on with that. Right, we're slowly getting there. I've hooked up the back of this for the coins to go in. Now I just need to remember it's 5 sawmills per 2 assemblers. Right, it's all connected. So I used a bit more space than I really needed to, but it took me a while to actually figure out how I wanted to do this. As you can see, I moved the sawmill setup back over there because I wanted the space for the trash barrels, because I'm not going to bother trying to do something with the planks that come from the rotten logs. Regular logs are cheap enough, so it's a non-issue just to scrap any that come from that. Yeah, and then all we'll need to do really is hook up one of these to these two. I've got this line ready to start receiving funds. Yeah, that is that done. And now I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break, maybe for a rest at day, carry on this episode tomorrow or whenever I next feel like. Just let my brain refresh and recharge before we carry on and do any more. Right then guys, back the next day, and my brain's somewhat recovered from sorting all this. So something else is I have actually redone the steel line. So what did I set up a sandbox mode where I could just mess around, experiment, because when I thought about it, I'm not happy with this design. So I've redone it and made it much better, a little bit more compact. So I'll be back in a sec while I replace this with the new one. Right, here it is. So first I'll say these small storage boxes, don't mind them. I've just got these here to get rid of what were left over from before. So there. So the new way I've decided to do it with the ethanols, rather than having them all in one straight, like going across the furnaces, I've decided to just have the iron feed directly into the next one. Technically not as efficient, but I feel like it looks a lot better. I've also stress tested it, so even if this chest gets full, so just to explain what's going on, so because we're producing 20 iron a minute, but this only uses 15, we're going to have a bit of an excess. So then I have the splitter here going into this chest, and should for some reason, and then a merger. So should for some reason the iron in this belt stop, this will start getting used. But then at the very end of the line, we have the iron from this last one go into the cannon, which gets shot back to the beginning to be reused all over. And then I've just set it up so there's a single assembler for steel gears just going in there with three ethanols worth of steel going into that, which again, as you can see, it's getting backed up, which for this setup is what we want. And yeah, that's about it. So the cannon's on a stand because, for those who don't know, cannons have 2 entry points. And if I did not done that, the steel coming out of here would have been picked up and fired across and just blocked everything. And then while I was sorting things, I set up 2 more blueprints for coal. So the one we did before is the 3 crusher one. I've also done a 2 crusher setup, and then a single crusher setup, which I did that because I realized that is enough to keep these 3 blast furnaces running. And then just don't mind this web of conveyor belts. I've just got it set up to make sure everything gets more than enough coal coke, because I worked it out I'd need 10 grinders worth to ensure these stay full at all times, and we've got 11 there because I also decided to just drop this to one of the lines feeding to be self-feeding, because that is more than enough. And yeah, I believe that is it. I've just got all this left to get rid of as well while we're going along. But yeah, I'm just going to keep this running in the background while we gather more materials for building, because the steel is very good for the time being. What I'll probably do is do a second setup specific and just modify this end slightly for purely for steel gears for the shop. But we can do that once it's all set up. Right, it's going to be another major cut now, because I'll talk you through what I'm going to do. I'm going to first of all finish hooking up the advanced fertilizer, so I'll have one of these going back into these just to make sure that keeps up, and then I'm gonna redo all these blueprints with the new nursery setups and requirements. And I'm not going to do any like montages or time lapses or anything of me doing it. We're just going to cut, I'm going to do them, come back, and then I'll just I'll either talk you through what I've done, or I might spend a bit longer and just actually start the downsizing and reorganizing, and just let you see what I've done after. So yeah, I shall see you when I see you. And just for reference, to see how long this is going to take, we're currently on day 80. So let's see how long this takes. Okay, so as we can see, it's been a fair while, 28 in-game days in fact, since we last checked in. And I've been sort of busy, sort of not. So what I've done is relayed out the entire shop and all the factory and stuff. But what we're doing, I will letting all the resources sort of run dry while we waited. So that's one of the main reasons why it took so long. So all them charcoal setups and everything, I'll let the logs run down, all them quicklime powders for old fertilizer setup, I'll let the limestone run out, so on and so forth. So if we walk in now, but what is that doing there? What you'll see is I've opened it up a little bit, moved some things around, and there's this sledge up here now. It's a bit of an open plan at the minute. So first, my storage room. It's a little bit big. It won't stay this big forever. But yeah, I've just got trash barrel to get rid of anything we really don't need. As you can see, them logs went to good use. It's just all my sort of, some of it's overflow storage, some of it I've specifically put aside to make sure we're not having to rely on the shop supply, just in case. And here is the remaining gridlock. 11 plus, well, just shy of 12 crates worth. And then I just set this up so we can get some more gloom fungus, just for personal use with making bound shrooms and everything. So before we step outside, I've both made it better and worse simultaneously. So first we'll look at the industrial section, which is all this. So if we hop over, we've got large gears, small gears, mortar, bricks, clay, little coal coke setup for fueling, glass, steel gears, and iron nails in here somewhere. Yeah, iron nails. Then if we go to the front, we've got, there's coins coming out. I've got this set up so it puts them out at 1 silver a piece, so then it's nice and evenly distributed. And anything that's extra, so say this belt's full, it's just accumulating for savings, which, as you can see, I keep saying as you can see, I need to stop that. I've got so many filler words. It's like when I say so as well. Just I'm not good with like talking and stuff. Conversation's never been my strong suit, even in general, let alone when I'm just trying to fill the void of space and talking to myself. Sorry, I'm rambling. But yeah, we've got a very good amount of savings piling up. Then if we go, it's going up there. We'll just hop over, cannon over to here for the fertilizer setup, which is up and running. And this is the agricultural section, as we're calling it. Right, what I've done, I combined the rope and pulley blueprints. I've redone the linen setup so it's a little bit wider but not as tall. Same with the, you can hardly recognize it, can you? This is the bandage setup. So with previous one I initially had it with 6 assemblers, and then I just threw 2 more on top. I've not done that, but I did make a very compact healing potion setup. To be fair, if I really wanted, I could make it a bit more compact horizontally, but we're not going to worry about that. Just to mitigate the difference, because just these alone, with only 1 assembler for the healing potions, it wasn't keeping up with the shop. So I've just thrown that one in and now it's doing great. And then this is our new vitality potion setup, which is significantly better. Only 2 red current nurseries, whereas before we had 24. Also, soap is over here. Just another nice compact one. And this coal module is more than enough to fuel everything around here so far. Oops. I'll get this eventually. Right. Now these all feed into cannons that get shot over, and then all these belts, everything feeds up into here to go to stock the shop. So what I'm wanting to aim for is no more than a single crate of anything, just in case, because then we've got a bit of a supply to grab for quests and things, which is always nice. And the ones that aren't connected, as I'm sure you can guess, I'm just trying to run those down. So we've got a crap ton of bricks and pulleys. They were worst. We actually had 5 chests. They weren't all full, it were like 4.5, but it's getting there, it's getting there. Same with soap, that was starting to bleed into its 4th crate as well. Yeah. And there we go. And because of the restock rate of the cannons, so for those who don't know, so whereas cannons fire twice the rate of catapults, so I've made it so a single potion shelf does 2 different potions. And to be fair, I could probably actually eventually make it so it does 4 separate ones. That's thinking early game though. I'm sure if we went and upgraded this all the way down, it'd be significantly different. So yeah. Right, and now what we're gonna do is look into what's next. So I think by the end of this episode, I at very least want to set up the turquoise and the transformation potions, and then we'll get into Jupiter next episode. Yeast powder, although it's not a product you can sell on shelves, it is requested in quests, so we'll have to add a bit of a storage section for that. And bloom spores, I don't think they're requested for quests, but we do have the sample quest because they're our next contract, so we'll need to consider that. Also, speaking of the contract, the one exception thought of to this single crate thing is bandages. So I've just got a priority splitter here. As long as this line's full and shelves are full, they'll go into the contracts portal, which then goes down directly into his savings. Sit for a moment there, and we're gonna buy turquoise. And turquoise needs healing potions and sand, which we've already got the thing set up, but so we'll do that over here. What I may as well do while we're here, actually put it together decently for an actual blueprint. Right. Yes, that is set up. Do we have it? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's that set up. Now all we need to do is have them going into the shop, and eventually turquoise will start coming in. Wait, what do you mean 91? Are people already complaining that there's no turquoise? Well, looks to be them, doesn't it? Next on the docket, it'll be yeast powder and gloom spores, and then that's probably going to wrap it up for today. And I'm just going to research both of these now, and then we'll crack on. Okay, I've decided to just start research on transformation potions, because we need to know what we're looking at for what we need to produce for the gloom spores and yeast powder. Right then, so since transformations produce at 10 a minute, I feel that's a little bit too low. So we're gonna go for 2 setups with transformation potions. So for that we need 40 powder a minute. That's easy, that's 2 crushers worth. And gloom spores at 20 a minute, plus a little bit extra for the contracts. So gloom spores produce at 15 a minute, which is great, because then we can do 2 setups, use a priority splitter, and then have all the excess going to the contract portal. So then we'll need yeast powder at 30 a minute and 60 gloom fungus a minute. That's just 10 table saws set up, and yeast powder. So that's 2 setups for it. Yeah. Yeast powder, so 2 setups again. So soap powder produces, no, soap powder we need 60 a minute. Soap grinds at 10 a minute and produces at 20 minutes, so we need 3 soap setups in total, plus 6 grinders. And regular and fruit wine, that's just the same requirement as vitality potions, so it'll be 2 nurseries and 6 extractors. So we'll use this space and start putting things together. Next is gloom spores. So I would like to say it's going to be easy because we got that 5 stack, didn't we? Well, I accidentally deleted it. Right, that's that done, and I decided to just set up the stands now for the blueprint. And then all we need to do is just conveyor it to wherever it's going once we've built. So now that's yeast powder set up, gloom spores set up. Next is just coke powder, which 2 crushers worth. Where am I going? I put these stairs here so I didn't need to keep walking all the way around. There we go. That's that. So all we need to do is that, and then we can set up the single fueling module to fuel all that. Now, all we need to do is put all this together, I guess. And then we can find a spot for it. Actually, no, we just need to find a spot for it all. And I'm thinking over there. I might also add a second turquoise thing while we're at it. Right, yeast powder's hooked up, and once the fuel and fertilizer actually gets going, that'll be online. My main concern is going to be that I didn't but my main concern is going to be that I underestimated how much fertilizer I'm going to need in total, because there's still Jupiter to make, which also needs black setups. But again, we'll worry about that when we get to it, but I've still got some other things to sort out, and I did also just add a second turquoise module to hopefully be able to keep up. Next is Bloom Spa. So honestly, I think they're in it. These are in a almost decent enough place. Right, Gloom Spas are set up. I'm gonna worry about linking up the contracts portal once I have the transformation potions done, then I know what space I'm working with. So excuse you. Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to actually connect that now. Just a couple of trash barrels there for the wood we're gonna get. And it just feeds around into these. Yeast powder's coming along nicely already. Now it's just coal to set up. Right, before we finish off those transformation potions, I've collected 50 gloom spas so we can turn in this sample request. And now we'll be able to what about that? Now we can set up this contract portal. So I'm not gonna go to path for the to set this up to my main money line. This can just all collect passively, just for a nice bit of extra savings should I ever need it. Now, last thing to do, that decided to have a bit of fun rather than prattling about with conveyor belts. Just have catapults, give them a little fling over. How the powder is maintaining in perfect shape instead of just scattering in the wind, I don't know. But we're not going to complain about it. And all that's left to do is hook this one up to the shop. Right, and before we wrap up this episode, there's one more thing I want to do. That I'll be back once I've got 200 transformation potions. And while we wait, I'm just going to learn all these. And I'm going to learn it now, but then we're going to get into actually making Jupiters in the next episode. And here we go. First of all, bigger inventory, which that goes from this. Party spaces to so yeah, just X-ray spaces, that's good. And potion belt. Which now means we will never have to sleep. That's it for this episode, guys. If you've watched this, if you've stuck around, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see the channel grow. And I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.